I guess first I want to just welcome everyone on behalf of Monumental. And I can't stress enough that the events of today were organized by these men and women. The organization Monumental, understanding our core values, understanding what we represent, support them. But it's all about them and what they wanted to do, and understanding that they have a responsibility. That they understand that it's not just about a statement or a march, but it's the follow-up. As we go after that, they understand that they are more than just basketball players. And so with that, I'll turn it over to them. Questions?
Yeah, you guys go ahead with questions.
How did this march start? How did this idea germinate? How did you take us through how the ball got rolling?
Honestly, it was Natasha's idea. She actually hit me up a couple weeks ago wanting to do a march, and I was all in. And I think we kind of pitched it to the rest of our team, and we all agreed that it was something that was going to be powerful and meaningful to us. No disrespect to Monumental, but we wanted to do it as a team. We wanted to do it as solely players, and we're happy that they supported us and our organization supports us and both teams support us. But this was definitely all Natasha's idea, man, and we just kind of put it together, and we figured we're in the most powerful city in the world. We're influential athletes, whether we like it or not. We have a voice, we have a platform, and this is just one of the ways we're going to utilize it, with this march. But as Coach Thompson said, man, this isn't going to be the last of our work. We have more work to follow up after this too, so that's the whole meaning.
Natasha, you marched in Philadelphia, in your hometown. How important is it for you to be able to do this something similar here, kind of your second home, DC?
Oh, it's absolutely important. I've been in DC now for 6 years. DC has been a second home to me for years now, and so it's really important for me to not only give back to where I'm from, but to give back to this community that means so much to us too. And reaching out to Brad and the Wizards, we all feel the same. Yeah, we put on a jersey every single night if we rep the district, but we care about this community and we're a part of this community. So like he said, in any facet that we can use our platform and our resources, that's what we want to do.
What's been your reaction to what's happening around the country and around the world supporting this movement at this time?
Oh, that's a really hard question. I think we've gone through all emotions across the spectrum. It's been really heavy these last 2 weeks. It's been really draining in a sense these last 2 weeks of making sure that we're using our platforms, making sure we're using our voices for the voiceless. It's been a mixed emotions. You go through everything of sadness to that daily fear that we face with being black in America, to that anger of this is not the first. George Floyd was not the first, and he wasn't the last. I think as of like 2 days ago, there was 120 deaths after George Floyd, and that's the reality that we live in. So this is where we stand together, united in solidarity, and we say we're not going to be silent anymore.
The same thing. What's been your reaction seeing the movement that still thrives today?
As she said, it's been difficult in a lot of ways because even as an athlete, I still face some of the same harsh realities that my fellow members in the black community face. I've been pulled over multiple times randomly. I've been racially profiled walking down the street before. So all of these things have happened to me, and it's kind of shocking that we haven't grown. We think we've really gotten far, and it's just sad to see that we have technology now that's just putting everything out on display. So I think it's just really just opening the wounds even more, more so than anything, and it's really a numbing feeling because now I have 2 young black boys I have to raise. And the most difficult thing for me is just trying to channel how much different their lives are going to be from how I came up. But at the same time, it won't be too different. They're still going to face those same challenges eventually down the line. And it's just a matter of not if I prepare them for that situation. So it's been difficult to grasp, but at the same time, you can't be silent about it. You can't sit on your hands. When you have a platform, you have an opportunity, you got to take advantage of it, man, and swing that bat no matter what happens, no matter what people's opinions are. You got to stand for what's right.
You knew Mike Brown in St. Louis, and I know you've been speaking about this for a minute. I just wonder over the last 5 or 6 years how your own personal journey has evolved with regard to these issues and being willing not to speak out but lead on these things.
Oh, always I've been blessed with a bigger talent than basketball. And I feel like I'm a humble human being. I'm a people person, and I love everybody. And it really hurt me to know that when Mike Brown passed in my hometown, I didn't really do anything about it. I was kind of a guy who kind of swept it under the rug. I let time roll over. Let's try to figure it out. But I didn't do anything about it. And that's 5 years ago. And we haven't changed. The same things are happening and happening and happening. And they're on display more and more and more. And it's more frustrating. But as I matured more, as I got older, I have an opportunity. If I fail, I fail. But I can't sit here and say I didn't try. I can't sit here and say I didn't put up an effort, because I've been blessed with this platform, this opportunity to do so. So I'm gonna ride this train till the wheels fall off, man. And we have a bunch of people who support us. We all support the same idea, the same rights, the same standard, and that's what we're following up on, and that's what we're here today to stand on.
You guys said that the march today is just one step. What is that next step? What is the march leading towards?
Eventually action, and we've been coming up with what are some of the social issues in which we face in everyday life. Police brutality, racism, the education system, prison reform. There's a vast spectrum of problems in the U.S. that we all can agree on. But the most difficult thing is solving one. There's going to be another. So it's going to be a game of patience, and that's what we understand. And that's what we hope everybody understands, is that it's going to take everybody to collectively come together to fully understand what we need. And at the same time, we also have to fully be committed to change. We have to be fully committed to these different vast problems that we have and be open to solving them. Because we can't be naive to that they don't exist, because they do.
Tosh, Brad gave you credit for coming up with this. How did you come up with this idea? What was it?
Yeah, I mean, Brad gave me credit, and it was more so credit of bringing it to his attention. But Maisha had actually wrote me with the idea. She texted me and said, "Hey, Tosh, what do you think about us doing a march?" And I was like, I would love to bring in Brad and the Wizards. We had been meeting every week already at that point on Zoom calls. Me, a few of my teammates, him and a few of his teammates, as well as Coach, and some other people as well in Monumental. So it just made sense. And we understand the power that we have with not only our platforms as the Mystics, but like Brad just said, collectively is where we're going to get action done, and we're going to get more done. So bringing each other in, this is a family. Our two teams, we're separated. We're men and we're women. We play at different points and different times, but we're all fighting the same fights. We all care about the same things, and we find commonality in respecting each other. And I don't know how many cities have this type of relationships between their two teams. So it's a really special bond between our teams. So it only makes it right that we do it together.
John B. patriarchal issues decades ago. Where do you see the state of affairs now, and how far
I think Bradley worded it best in that not much has changed. And I think if anything has changed, you see the actions of young people, you see the actions across races, sexes, ethnicities, ready to stand up now, as opposed to just one particular segment of society. But not much has changed, and that's a problem. And that's where these young men and women, and as well as our organization, are trying to see if we can move the needle a little bit. As Brad said, can we attack one issue? But relative to when Pops walked up, Proposition 42, not much has changed.
This question's for Natasha and Bradley. You guys were at Black Lives Matter Plaza just before here. When you look out and you see that on the streets here in DC, what's that mean to you?
It's powerful. When you're talking about something being so bright, so visible for everyone to see, you can't ignore this anymore. And I think that's been our message too, to everyone in America, is that you can't ignore this anymore. Your silence is a knee on our neck. Your neutrality is taking the side of the oppressor. So with Black Lives Matter, I mean, you have to see it. You have to wake up to it every single day. You have to go past it every single day. It's a subtle reminder that we're here, we still matter, our lives have always mattered, And until Black Lives Matter, not all lives matter.
I think it's beautiful because it really portrays the togetherness in which we've grown a little bit. Because not only is Atlanta affected, South Carolina, Louisville, where these events happen, Minnesota, where these events took place, but it's the entire world. It's people in Australia, Europe, who are marching, protesting, doing the exact same things we're doing, and it didn't happen to them. So to see that on a global scale, to see that this is our nation's capital, and to see that right behind the White House, I mean, you can't ignore it, as Natasha said. You can't ignore it. And I think that's where the beauty of it comes in with this generation, is that there is no more ignoring there's no more being ignorant to what's going on. Like, we can't condone that. We can't accept it. And, we have to pay attention to what's going on, the harsh realities that we live in, and face them front on. And like Natasha said, Black Lives Matter. And, all lives can until they do.
Hey, Brad, you said you've been profiled. Is there one incident that you can share that you felt maybe law enforcement, someone crossed the line?
I mean, yeah, I don't want to be like an asshole, but I mean, pick a situation. Like, I've been pulled over with four hoopers in the car before, and we've all been taken out search because we were black. Right in a white neighborhood. I went to an all-white school in high school. It happened here 2 years ago. I got pulled over on 495. An officer asked me to step out of the vehicle. I'm literally on the side of the highway, my wife, me, and one of my friends, sitting the median, I don't know what it is, the median of the highway on the side, and he comes up to me and says, "What if I fuck up your Monday and put you on a headline and arrest you right now?" Didn't do anything. But because I was an athlete, a black athlete driving a nice vehicle, that's what he came up with. And how am I supposed to respond to that? I'll just be waking up on Monday morning with the ESPN headline, Bradley Beal arrested because interaction with the police. But it's not, it happens. It doesn't happen to me. It doesn't just happen to it's everywhere. It's everywhere. And we just have to stop being ignorant to the fact that it exists.
One more question, please.
Tosh, with what Maya did a few years ago and Renee decided yesterday, I guess, not to play, do you think about that even kind of theoretically as a possibility, or do you say, I can do more work from inside or by still playing?
No, I think that, what Maya did at the time that she did it, she should be in the conversation of Colin Kaepernick and of all the other greats that have stepped away from the game for a greater calling. Cap was kind of forced out, so he didn't really have a choice. But, when you're in this time in the last 2 weeks, I haven't thought about basketball one time. I have to because I'm a player rep and I have to be on union calls for the WNBA. But this is bigger than basketball. We're not only athletes. When we take that uniform off, we are black men and women. We don't get to take our skin color off and walk around the streets and have that privilege. We don't have a choice. So when you're talking about the game of basketball, today, right now, I could care less. Our calling right now is to use our God-given platforms, to use our voices, and to collectively come together for something greater than all of ourselves combined.
One quick question for CNN. Could you just tell me what you think people should think and feel when they see that more athletes are joining this call for real substantive change?
What they should think and feel?
Yeah.
I wrote a Players Tribune as a call to athletes, but it was a call to everyone, but especially our athletes and our celebrities and politicians. We have a voice that can be used for the voiceless. We have this platform to sit in front of all these cameras in this media and be a voice and to use our voices in the right and correct way. So I challenge all of us. If you're still staying silent, you're part of the problem. If you're choosing to be neutral, you're choosing the side of the oppressor. Because for our leagues, especially the NBA and the WNBA, I know for us, 80% of our league is black. So at what point for our white counterparts, and our white teammates, do you step up to the plate for us? You can go to war for us on the field or on the basketball court, but what are you doing behind the scenes when we go home and we're getting pulled over on our way home? But it's a call to every athlete too. If you're a black athlete, if you're silent, you're just as big as part of the problem to me.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.